100K, 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 what? 100K, every day, we don't play, here to stay, we here to stay, concentrate, anticipate, it's okay,
Hello, my crypto juggernauts and family. Welcome to the Mx3 Crypto Report, your destination for relevant crypto information when you need it the most. My name is Michael, and we have Mike.
Hey, everybody.
And we have Mark.
Hello.
And we are Mx3. Thank you for tuning in today. And as per usual, please subscribe, give us a like, and hit that notification button, and leave some comments below. We appreciate your support as we continue to give you more valuable content. All right. So let's move on to our lesson segment for today. Today, we're going to expound on the different types of wallets and some examples of these wallets. I really wanted to go into detail just a little bit more and just make sure that we really got to the meat and potatoes of these items. And so, once again, what is a crypto wallet? So as we discussed back in episode 2, a crypto wallet is a secure digital wallet used to store and send and receive digital currencies. These wallets function by storing cryptographic information in order to complete a cryptocurrency transaction. You need to use a cryptocurrency wallet in order to make these transactions. There are three types of online wallets. There are three types of wallets. There are three types of wallets: online wallets, hardware, and paper wallets. So on this episode, we wanted to describe some examples of these wallets and their use cases. So starting with an online wallet is a program for holding and sending cryptocurrency and tokens. Online wallets are a form of hot storage, meaning that the wallet is stored on a platform that is connected to the internet, possibly increasing the chances of cyber attack depending on the nature of the wallet. There are two types of online wallets: one personally owned by the individual and one owned by online exchanges. The key difference in using these wallets lie in the ownership of private keys and KYC information. A private key is a secret number that is used in cryptography similar to a password. It is used to sign transactions and prove ownership of a blockchain address. KYC stands for Know Your Customer. It is an identity verification process that major exchanges require, such as a birth date, social security, a physical address, and more. They require this information for anyone who wants to trade crypto. In other words, the exchanges get to know all your personal information. In the exchange's defense, they claim to use KYC to confirm that the customer is who they claim to be and not performing illegal activities. In one's own personal wallet, the user has access to their own private keys, which is important, and your transactions remain anonymous. On a centralized exchange, a wallet has to usually go through the KYC process, and users do not have access to their own private keys. Therefore, accounts may be frozen at the discretion of the exchange owners, which is another key thing to know about that. On decentralized exchanges, one uses their personal wallet to connect and transact, therefore making decentralized exchanges anonymous, and the user remains in charge of their own private keys. A few key examples of centralized exchanges include Binance, Coinbase, FTX, Kraken, KuCoin, Crypto.com, Bitstamp, once again, just to name a few. Some examples of decentralized exchanges include Uniswap, PancakeSwap, Serum, 1inch Exchange, Trader Joe, Matcha.xyz, just to name a few. Some examples of personal online wallets include MetaMask, Atomic Wallet, Exodus Wallet, Trust Wallet, Electrum, Mycelium, just to name a few. Next, let's talk about hardware wallets. What is a hardware wallet? But before we talk about hardware wallets, I wanted to ask, starting with you, Mark, have you heard about some of these decentralized exchanges before?
Yeah, I've heard of some of them. Actually, use Coinbase, MetaMask. So I'm familiar with the exchanges. The exchanges that I'm familiar with, the ones that I use, they're pretty good. Easy user interface to create an account, to sign into it, to be able to trade and swap cryptocurrency. So yeah, there's quite a few exchanges out there, and they're pretty good. The ones that I'm familiar with, they're pretty good and stable.
Nice. And Mike, what is your experience with centralized exchanges? And do you think it is fair for them to have, the KYC, know your customer information and stuff like that?
Well, in terms of the KYC, initially when I started dealing with some of these exchanges, again, it kind of goes against the whole premise of kind of being anonymous and being able to stay anonymous. But at the same time, we've all seen, newscasts and different things where people have done so many things in terms of using, crypto for bad things. One I think the best example is probably Silk Road, and it puts a bad light on the whole crypto community. So I can see the need and the benefit for them needing to know, because if you can't trace things back to somebody, all kind of stuff happens. Mm-hmm. So there's an upside, there's a downside. If the platform itself is pretty stable, you do some research into it, look at their security and privacy practices. I tend to make my decisions based off of that. And in terms of the centralized platforms, I heard you mention a couple of them that I have some experience with, but okay. I'm able to actually integrate my own wallet with it. So I'm kind of wondering if some of these may also fit into like maybe a hybrid kind of state where they're not totally centralized, where you do have the ability to connect your own wallet and move your money back and forth. But one in particular, Coinbase, for example, from what I understand, and I may be wrong on this one, but it's a little more difficult for you to be able to. They kind of want you to keep your money on the exchange for the most part. I think they make it a little more difficult. I'm not sure about Coinbase Pro. I haven't used that yet, but I think the default Coinbase platform, I think they make it a little difficult for you to connect your own wallet and move your money off.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Mike. Like some of the exchanges, such as Kraken, it's hybrid. Yeah. So primarily it's centralized if you're going to use their online exchange. Right. But if you do have your own personal wallet, it can connect to it as in a decentralized fashion. Mm-hmm. But once again, the key is who owns the private key. Yeah. That's the key. So if the centralized exchange owns the private keys, then they can at short notice freeze the accounts if they feel the need to, or do anything in that regard. but like Coinbase.com, they're really infamous for keeping private keys and ownership of that, and kind of just taking custodial of your account for you in that fashion and stuff like that. So those are some really good insights, guys. And so now let's go back to talking about hardware wallets. So what is a hardware wallet? It is a cryptocurrency offline wallet that stores the user's private keys in a secure hardware device. Hardware wallets are a form of cold storage, meaning that the wallet is stored on a platform that is not connected to the internet, thereby protecting the wallet from unauthorized access, cyber hacks, and other vulnerabilities to which a system that is connected to the internet may be susceptible. Some examples of hardware wallets are the Trezor and Ledger wallets. Lastly, what is a paper wallet? A paper wallet is a piece of printed paper that contains keys and QR codes for facilitating cryptocurrency transfers. Paper wallets are considered more secure than online storage methods and used earlier on in Bitcoin's evolution, Ever since hardware wallets swept the market, paper wallets have become, unfortunately, obsolete. There are different paper wallets that can be generated from websites if one still wants to use them, for example, bitcoin.com. All right, so let's go to our next segment with Mark, which is the Q&A segment. Mark, you go ahead and take the wheel, please.
Hey, thank you, Michael. So I have some questions from the crypto community. And just to mention to all of our viewers watching, if you have any questions regarding cryptocurrency, be sure to ask us. It doesn't matter if it's a question about NFTs, Bitcoin, or even how to get started in investing in cryptocurrency. Just ask us. It will address your question right here on one of our episodes.
Absolutely.
If you have a question about how to ask a question, just drop a comment in the comment box on YouTube. Just drop a question there, and we'll be happy to respond to that question for you. Okay, so first question from the crypto community. One person asked, I saw on a news program that China has banned cryptocurrency. Is it possible the United States can ban cryptocurrency too? And if it's banned in the US, will I lose my crypto investment?
Nice. You know, I was very intrigued by this question, and it's a good, like, it's a thought, whatchamacallit. Yeah, it's something to think about. So, like, if such a scenario took place, one would still have all of his funds on the blockchain. Okay, one would still have all of his funds on the blockchain. One would also still have access to his funds, especially if the individual used a personal wallet with their own private keys. The only downside of a country banning crypto would be conversions. You know, one would not be able to convert their crypto into fiat or cash within that country, if that makes sense, Mark.
Yeah, it makes sense. Well, what do you think, Mike? I'll ask a follow-up question in a minute.
I think, honestly, I don't see that happening in the U.S. If you look back, and I've seen somebody actually calculated the number of times that China has actually banned crypto, and I think the number was like 144 times. You know, and it's actually the central bank in China. And central banks, another conversation for another day. But in terms of a country like China, any kind of authoritative state, cryptocurrency is definitely, you know, it's a danger, you know, to that country's currency. Yeah. And authoritative states, well, you know what, they tend to take the bull by the horns and take charge and do what they feel like is necessary to do. But in the U.S., especially with some of the things, and Michael talked about the segment a little bit ago in terms of MasterCard adopting cryptocurrency, and there have been a number of big players, individuals, corporations, and to me, the biggest thing is now that the government has started taxing it, they're not going to be so eager to kill a source of revenue.
Right.
So I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening in the States.
Yeah, that's good. That was actually my follow-up question that I was going to ask, Michael. What's the chances of the United States actually banning cryptocurrency in the U.S.? I know that China has banned, like you mentioned, Mike, China's banned it several times already. So they keep going back and forth. But for the U.S., they've never mentioned anything about banning it, and it seems like it's adopted a little bit better here in the United States than it was in China.
Yeah. Honestly, I can't really speak too much on what's going on in China, but as for here, I just think that the U.S. was definitely going to benefit more from having more of the cryptocurrency than having less and another country having more, in my opinion.
Okay.
And if I could add to that, the numbers also show that they're not just banning crypto; they've actually literally kicked crypto miners out of the country.
Right.
A lot of them have actually settled in Oregon and Texas here in the States. So the U.S. would actually have a unique position there. So again, to me, that's another reason why I don't see it happening.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know. Had no idea they kicked them out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, even to the extent of what I've heard is even to the extent of threatening their lives. So
unofficially,
unofficially, allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
So,
Nice.
ladies and gentlemen, allegedly. All right.
Yeah. China would never do anything like that.
Never, no. No, they might lock you away, and lock you in a building or lock you up in prison or something, but and that's been documented.
Yeah.
And moving on to the next crypto question. This one comes in. I've heard of Bitcoin and Ethereum, but a news show mentioned Cardano and Polkadot. How many types of cryptocurrency are there?
Oh, okay. And just to help you out, Mark, it's pronounced Ethereum.
Ethereum. Sorry.
Yeah, Ethereum. No, you can. Yeah. Some of these cryptocurrencies, I don't know where they got the name from, but yeah, there are thousands of cryptocurrencies in existence. While many of these cryptocurrencies have little to no support or trading activity, a few have massive, large followings of supporters and investors. So yeah, once again, there's thousands of them in existence, and there's different types. That we have the tokens, we have the cryptocurrencies that operate for the blockchain, and we have different types of stable currencies too. Basically meaning that these currencies kind of maintain their value year round, the same value year round. And we also have certain type of tokens that are for staking, or compounding type tokens. So each token has its different utilities, and once again, there's thousands of them out there. Wow. So, please be very, very, very careful making your selection, and do a lot of research, and always seek professional advice.
Yeah. So it sounds like there's a lot of options out there to invest in.
Absolutely.
What do you think, Mike?
I think Michael hit it right on the head. The only thing I can say is the stable coins, like Michael said, they've been around. They've proven themselves. They have a history of, well, obviously being stable. They've gone through bull runs and bear runs. So I would, if I were to give a novice advice in terms of investing, I would say start with those. Until you can, become more educated and understand the platform. Because like Michael said, tokens, cryptos, and even NFTs. You have to be careful. You have to do your research. You have to understand their purpose, their usability, and how stable they are or not.
Yeah, that's good advice. And one thing I've noticed is that it looks like there's all exchanges, they do not carry every type of Bitcoin. Some exchanges carry different types of Bitcoins and others do not. And I may be wrong about this, but it looked like there's like Coinbase may carry a certain type of cryptocurrency there, but you wouldn't be able to find a certain cryptocurrency on a different exchange. Is that right, or?
That's absolutely right. And Mike, you wanted to handle this, or you want me
to? You go ahead.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, and it basically just deals with what the exchange wants to provide liquidity to.
Okay.
So it's at the exchange's discretion, and what they want to validate and what they want to provide liquidity to is something that they do behind the scenes. So it doesn't have necessarily to do with the coin itself and it just has to do with what they're willing to put on their platform.
Okay. So it sounds like some of the more popular big cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, they would be on most of the exchanges that are out there right now.
Yeah, it seems that way. It seems like usually, according to popular consensus of how they rank these coins, usually the ones with higher ranking and more volume and support usually get first-class treatments on these platforms and exchanges, and so you see more of them there. And then the ones that are really not known don't have that first-class treatment because they don't have that type of support yet. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Absolutely.
Next question. Since Bitcoin's value reached $60,000, its valuation has dropped more than 20%. Why? I thought investing in Bitcoin is supposed to be a stable investment now.
That's a loaded question.
I love this question. It's like what's that thing in baseball? It's like a curveball. All right. Well, first and foremost, every investment in the world has its level of risk assessment, especially within the ever-evolving crypto space. Due to the crypto space new and evolving nature, it still remains highly volatile. Okay, large dips and gains are all part of the game, and Bitcoin is no exception. Bitcoin is not a quote-unquote stable currency, but with the highest volume and age and support, most users just maintain it as the standard within the space. However, there are specific cryptocurrencies within the space, as we talked about earlier, that maintain their value year-round and are therefore classified as stablecoins, such as USDT, aka Tether, DAI, spelled DAI, and USD coin or USDC. And that's my take on that.
Okay. What do you think, Mike?
Well, I think, like Michael mentioned, there are different factors that kind of go into that. the one that really kind of comes to mind, I keep going back to this whole thing in terms of China banning Bitcoin, because I saw where the last time they did it, which I guess was fairly recent, Bitcoin started going down in value. When some of the big major fund houses and funding houses in the U.S. just declared that they were going to start investing, the value of Bitcoin went down as well. So it, just like with the stock market, anything and everything can be manipulated, and to be honest with you, again, I kind of go back to this whole China thing, because China started mining for Bitcoin as a country way before any other countries, so they know how to, okay, well, countries, organizations, corporations, they understand how to manipulate things in their favor, because again, it kind of goes back to the old axiom, buy low, sell high. And if you know how to manipulate a market to drive its price down, that's a great opportunity for somebody to buy. And typically, even again, going back to the stock market, when you look at investors, the first thing you look at is what they're doing. When a stock starts to go one way or the other, you look at what they're doing. And typically, when those stocks go down, they're buying. I don't see any difference with Bitcoin, because if you poison that fruit, or at least give the perception that that fruit is poison, people aren't going to want to eat it, except those who have an appetite for it. So again, a lot of different factors go into this, but for me, I look at it the same way I look at stocks, bonds, and things like that, mutual funds and all the rest. If I totally and completely understand its value, its long-term value, my strategy is going to be buy low, sell high. So that's my take.
Okay.
And I think that's key. That last statement that you just made is understanding the long-term value and the significance of the project as a whole. And that's why it's with the trading and stuff like that. Sometimes as we went through in episode 1, it can get a little bit toxic, because at the end of the day, if that's all you're doing is you're buying the rumor and selling the news, you kind of fall into these traps, and you're always speculating on things that won't lead you to getting the best out of the project.
Yeah, and that reminds me of what somebody mentioned a while back, when they mentioned that when you invest for the long term, that it's more of a marathon, not a sprint. So whenever you invest for the long term, not the short term. So it sounds like the crypto market is about as stable as stock market, because it's going to go up, it's going to go down, but as long as you invest for the long term, you'll do better than just investing and try to pull your money or investment out as soon as you see something go down a little bit.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, well put.
Okay,
nice.
That's good to know. Great information, guys. And that was actually the last question that came in from the crypto community. So I'm going to throw it back to you, Michael.
Awesome. Okay, y'all. Awesome. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate you. Please do not forget to subscribe, drop a like, and hit that notification button if you haven't already done so. Also, kindly leave some questions in the comments below so that we can try our best to answer them for you. Once again, thank you so much. And we'll be on the same time next week, Saturday, to give you that relevant crypto information when you need it the most. Peace.
Peace.
Keep your head up, tomorrow can be a better day. If you're looking to get some figures for better pay. Invest in yourself, man, that is the only way. Get your clout up, 800K followers. How you do that, man? By not being a follower. How you get there, man? Hustling and bustling. Then you spice it up, put some brain.